Hi everyone, we are moving on to chart 8 today. So we are going to be looking at the letters H, M and N. They will that kind of pull down and push over technique that we know. And we are going to be joining those to the letters C, O, A, D, G and Q. And as we know, those are the push over and pull round formation as well. Okay, so you've got a kind of group of letters here and a group of letters here that we're going to be joining together. Okay, again, make sure you're sitting properly. You've got a straight back against the back of the chair, your feet are on the floor, you've tucked yourself in, and that you're holding your pencil properly, turning the paper whatever way you need to turn it to make sure that you're writing with your hand underneath and not curving across or going on top of what you've written. Make sure you're holding your pencil properly. So your thumb and your first finger are always gripping near the bottom of the pencil or pen. Your middle finger is curved, resting underneath, and then your two fingers underneath like this, squeezing something against your palm that you are resting on. And you can stop and rearrange your grip and move yourself about if you find that you're starting to bend over or not sitting or writing properly. All right, let's get started. So the first one that we are doing is the HC join, and as always, I'll show you on double lines and single lines. You pick the one that you like. Start it down here actually, so that it's not too far overhead. There we go. Okay, so H, all the way down, over, and then up and round for the C, okay? Let's do that one again. So down, over, around, and I've just counted, I've got enough space to do one join on each line here. Making sure that that joint stays nice and close. I'm not leaving too big of a gap. Again, checking my letter formation as I go. If you start seeing your letters getting too big or too small or starting to float, slow down, correct that first. Okay, let's move on to HO, or as Father Christmas would say, ho, ho, ho. And remember with the O, you've got that flick or that join at the top. Oh, that one wasn't very good. I've gone a bit far away. That's a terrible one, actually. That's better. And you can see I'm still checking that the middle part of my H is in line with where the O is as well. So they're all the same size. Even though this is an ascending letter, that middle part is still the same height as the O. Okay, moving on to HA, or in our case, we're going to create a row of ha-ha-has. So a bit like the O, except you go down and flick. And on the single lines, and onto HD. So HD is very similar to HA, except you're extending all the way up first to Brave Monkey and then coming down to finish off the flick at the bottom. I'm just holding my pen a little bit higher so you guys can see. I expect you to make sure you're holding it closer to the bottom. I hope you can see that okay. It's very sunny. And onto HG. Remembering when you do your G's, please do not loop them. You're just going down and hooking and then stopping at the bottom. Okay, and on the single line, that's better, the sun's gone in now. And HQ. You'll notice that where there was the G there, because I'm going up, I've just moved it to the side. Doesn't matter too much if you do go through the G. I think sometimes it's just easier to read if it's next to it, isn't it? And these drawings are really the reason it's so important that your letter formation is correct and that you're writing your letters correctly. Because if you're not doing that properly, you're going to find it really hard to make these joins. So if you ever need to go back and watch how to write each of the letters individually, don't forget we've got all those videos as well. Just find the group that it's in. We've got the capital letters and the lowercase. So just make sure you're looking through those and using those if you need help reminding you how the letter is formed as well. All right, we are a third of the way through. Well done. So we're going to move on to M now. So the first one that's starting off with is MC. Let's go down, over and around. Always takes me a bit longer when I do the middle parts because we're going over the same bit and I don't want to make it too loopy. And onto MO. And again, I'm not spending too long on these because I know you can see it's the same way of doing it as MC. Just remember with the O, of course, get that flick at the top. And then on to MA. Oh, I've already got a great one for a join I can think of. It's a subject that we do at school. MD. Oh, it's not very good M there. Got a bit wobbly in the middle. Not happy with that one. That's better. What you can do, of course, if you want to use the single lines, but you're finding that you need a bit of help, you can always get a pencil and draw a line across the middle as well. With a ruler, of course. But I'll show you that in a moment. Great job. So what you could do is you can get a ruler and you can have a go at working out where it is. Use the scared monkey for support. Draw a straight line there. A couple of times. Doesn't have to be perfect, but obviously as close as you can, better. Use a different coloured pencil from what you're using, and then if you just want to do it on the single lines, you can always do that as well, while still checking your letter size. So that's just a little tip for you. Okay, after MD, it's MG. And again, don't loop it. I really enjoy writing MG because it's kind of like over, over, round. And then let's see how that looks here now that I've drawn these lines on. Yeah, super helpful. And I can check that my descending letters aren't going too far down either. So that's always an option if you want to do it on the single lines because it's smaller and it's a bit easier. But if you're struggling a bit with your letter formation, okay, so you can always draw that. And MQ. What I could do is I can make you that as well. And of course, don't forget your little flick on the Q. Again, not going down too far, but just descending enough. And then the last letter that we're joining is N. So actually this is great because it's basically just what we've done before with the M, but a bit shorter. So we'll start with NC. So straight down and over. into the next letter. So where normally you do a flick, just taking it straight up into the C. No, an O. Using that flick at the top. Though make sure it's not too long. And then into NA. Let me just slide this up so that you can see where we're going on the bottom. Better. So NA, so a bit like a crossover between NO and NC, isn't it? And kind of doing the same again, going up into ND. It's quite a nice group of joins, actually. I can think of loads of words with these joins. And then the last two is with our G and our Q. Oh, I've just noticed a mistake on this chart. They've put TQ, but I'm pretty sure they meant NQ. Whoops. So NG and NQ. What I'll do is yeah, we've got enough space, perfect. So NG. And I'll just make sure when I'm showing you some examples of words, I'll just have to do that on the single lines because we've kind of run out of space on the double. Bit of a wobbly G there, that's all right. And NQ. And on the single line. There you go. So some of the words I was thinking of today was, let's have a look at the word down. We've done the LD join, so I could write the word hold. So I have my H and my O. And then starting my new set of joins, I've got L, D. So H, O, and then L, D. Thinking of HA here, but also I wanted to link in ND and NG, so I could have hand and I could have hang as well. So I've actually got two words here. So H, A, N, D. So I'm doing my H, A join, and then I'm stopping and doing my N, D join, because I don't think we've learnt the A, N link just yet. But that's fine, you can see I've still got them right next to each other, so it still looks like one word, even though it's two separate joins, still together. And same with hang, so H, A, that flick, and then N, G. H, A, N, G. And then see if there's any more that you can think of. Certainly when I got to MA, I thought of maths. So the subject, so I can have M, A, and then T, H, and S. So there's a few times I'm stopping there, remembering to cross my T at the end. And there we have it. So there's chart 8. Well done today. Make sure you watch that again if you need to. Otherwise, that's you finished. Well done.